Now is back, the official BC Lions podcast. How is everybody doing? Matt Baker, Nik Kowalski inside the Go-Goat Sports Studios at the Wall Center, recording this on a scorching hot day. The weather scorching hot and your Lions scorching hot. Nik, have you come off your high yet? I know you were pretty jacked up there on Saturday.
No, the adrenaline's still rolling right now. We just checked out the CFL power rankings, and I'm pleased with 2. I know I think you are as well, but
yeah, and you know what? And without trying to get too excited and I would have been. This might seem ridiculous. I would not have hated 3 either. The Calgary Stampeders, we know what they're capable of. They're 3-0 at the end of the day. You can argue like Winnipeg, they haven't won convincingly, maybe haven't looked too pretty, but. Yeah, it feels good to be on the podium of the power rankings, so to speak.
I'll take a page out of Nathan Rourke's book, but this is truly how I feel as well. But the power rankings don't mean a thing to me, to be honest. I take them with a grain of salt, and but people love talking about them, so that is why I just brought them up. But I think it's better to talk about teams in tiers.
People get unnecessarily passionate about the power rankings.
Very.
Remember a couple weeks ago we were in here and. We won the big game against the Elks, and going into the bye week after recording, officially we were going on a bye week already, but we were taking some time off. So we said, okay, what the heck, let's go upstairs and have a beer in the lounge upstairs. And and I think the power rankings came out at that point, and we were below a couple teams that had lost. Hamilton, for one, looked terrible in Saskatchewan. We'll go around the league later, but. So it's funny how it works. I'm saying people overreact to the power rankings, yet I overreacted in week 1 when I thought we were higher, deserving to be higher than 6th or 7th, whatever it was. Who cares?
Yeah, just let the games play out, right?
That's it. So 59-15 over Toronto. The Lions are 2-0 for the first time since 2016. My first year with the club. 2-0 start. Went into Hamilton on July 1st and won a big game at Tim Hortons Field, and that was the start of something special, a 12-6 finish, a big home playoff win over the Blue Bombers, and before losing the Western Final in Calgary. But the goals are bigger than just a Western Final appearance, and we're not going to start talking about anything to that nature just yet. But, you know, it's cliche as it goes. 1 game season, 1 week at a time, and this is not the best situation to be in if we're talking about it objectively. Short week, long travel to Ottawa, going to be banged up. Brian Burnham will be headed to the 6-game injured list. That officially announced by head coach Rick Campbell today. The news a little bit better. Running back James Butler, linebacker Bo Lacumbo. Recording this on a Monday. Their plan is to practice Tuesday, and all signs point to them at least dressing. But we don't want to take anything away from the big win. Other than Mr. Rourke, we're going to talk about him, obviously. 436 passing yards. New record for Canadian quarterbacks. What else impressed you the most?
I think that there hasn't been a falter yet. Like we've seen him so poised, really under pressure too. On that very first drive, when he did have pressure, he rolls out, makes a guy miss, grabs a first down with his feet. The zip on his balls. There were 2 that stood out to me that I brought this up yesterday on Twitter, on a Twitter space. Those the conversations.
Yeah, you were with Farhan and Julio.
Yeah,
I believe,
I brought these 2 throws up that really impressed me, and they weren't the touchdown throws because those are all impressive in themselves. But everyone remembers those. But the 2 that I thought were really impressive to me was there was a go ball to Dominique Rhymes in the first quarter where the ball was rocketed to Rhymes. He was fairly open, but it was there. It was in his hands, and it felt like half a second, and it was like a 30-40 yard throw. And then there was one. I believe it might have been a couple plays before or a couple plays after, but the Lions are deep in their own territory after the goal line stand. And it was just this normal flat pass to Javon Catoy, but again, the zip that Rourke had on the ball, he pretty much just like launched it right into his belly, and Catoy just had gobbled it up.
Yeah.
And the power Nathan has with his throws right now, and the accuracy, and he's hard on himself too right now, right? He's saying, oh, there was a couple balls where I could have done this, could have done that, but the numbers speak for themselves and the performance, and it was just impressive all around from what I saw.
Yeah, no, it's one thing to laud his athletic ability, his throwing ability, great arm, can make plays with his feet. Had at least one scramble in the first quarter to extend a long drive when it looked like things had broken down for him receiver-wise. And you have to start giving credit to the coaching staff, particularly Jordan Maksimic, Jason Tucker. They're designing plays. They're scheming this up for these receivers to get wide open. And that is something that is a major, major benefit to this offense as it's constructed.
I think we're hearing a lot more love toward Jordan Maksimic, and deservedly so. The offense, it seems like they're always doing the right thing, and I think that starts from the play calling and from the scheming. And last against Edmonton, it was Nathan did a lot of running, right? But on
78 yards, I think, on the ground,
And I think that may have been on purpose or by design, but on Saturday, it was just the air show, right? And it was spreading the ball around to 4 or 5 different receivers. I think there were, 6 people caught a ball in the first...
7.
In the first quarter, yeah.
7 receivers had it, including David Mackey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Jordan Maksimic's doing a tremendous job in designing the offense around Nathan Rourke's skill set and allowing... this receiving core is very star-studded, and he's allowing all of them to get their own spotlight, I guess, in terms of what they're bringing to the table.
It's funny how it works, eh? When the team's losing and not playing well, the play calling, the offensive coordinator, not creative enough, and now maybe some of that's warranted, but I just think I think you have to give credit to these coaches for utilizing the talent well. We've seen a lot of coaches with talent at their disposal don't do what's necessary to utilize it. And again, early sample size here, tough situation, tough test here in Ottawa against a Red Blacks team that probably feels they could easily be 2-0, if not for some lapses in execution against the 2-time defending Grey Cup champs. But hey, it's just added to the intrigue. We'll see how this team reacts with a little bit of injury adversity. With Burnham down, Dominique Rhymes stepped up in a big way, 143 yards, 2 touchdown receptions. We talked about one of those, receiving end of a solid throw by Nathan Rourke. We're going to talk to Dominique Rhymes in just a couple of minutes. This is a guy who's obviously talented on the football field, but interesting guy off of it, too. We touched on it in Arrow Up, the documentary, the fact that he's pretty much a full-fledged Canadian resident now, living with his fiancée in Ottawa, shoveling snow in the winter, and he's a video guy, too, at heart. He has his vlogs going. He's got that little GoPro camera. So
Yeah, it's always great to see the players doing content. And Dominique's, he's a very laid-back guy, very kind, very very fun to be around.
Very down-to-earth,
It brings a good vibe when you're around him. It's always like happy times.
Yeah, and we're going to talk to him about the celebrations, too, right? He had the Wu-Tang Clan thing. I'd like his thoughts on that. Last year we went to Toronto. It was right before Halloween. He did like a zombie celebration.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we talked to him in camp about how he was looking forward to breaking out some new ones. So, this is a guy who, a former member of the Ottawa Red Blacks, as mentioned. His marriage, his love life, his fiancée is from Ottawa. She'll be at the game and talk about living in Canada and enjoying some success on the field. But this is a guy who we knew he had a spot on the roster, but it's just like, okay, with Lucky and Burnham and everyone else, how much will he contribute? Well, so far, so good. He's proved to be a valuable favorite target for Nathan Rourke.
Mm-hmm. And now with Brian out of the lineup, we have another big name coming into the lineup.
Josh Pearson.
This week, So.
Yeah, 89 Pearson is slated to take Burnham's spot, and this is a guy who looked good in camp and
big. He's big too.
Formerly with the very big, long. Formerly with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on their Super Bowl winning team a couple years ago, was active for a few games. So we'll have to get him on a future episode once he has a couple games under his belt. Get his favorite Gronkowski stories and
TB12.
And he talked a bit about Chris Godwin. You can see that some of those clips at bclions.com. We're going to plan some more feature stuff. So very impressive.
Another guy I want to give a big shout out to for Saturday is Suk Chung. I think we can declare that Suk Chung is back to, if people were doubting him and that he couldn't get back to his old self back from based on his Winnipeg days. I think he is totally back to being an aggressive, dominating force on the line. If you want evidence, go look at the Dominique Rhymes touchdown, the first one that he caught. Suk Chung, he slams the defensive lineman coming into him into the ground, and it's back to what Suk is known to do best, and it's good to see on that end too.
Plays with an edge, and I know he's battled some injuries the last couple years, and good to see him being persistent and sticking through it, always intense. And yeah, the offensive line overall, absolutely outstanding through 2 games. Talk a little bit more about that with Dominique Rhymes coming up on First and Now. And Dominique joining us right now. And yeah, Dom, we were kind of remarking a bit before we officially started this interview. You're cooking out there at home. It's hot out, isn't it?
Oh man, it's super hot out. It's a good thing, man. You've been wanting some good weather around here, so man, I love for it to be hot, especially with me being from Miami. It's up my alleyway.
Yeah, this is probably still not quite the same in comparison, is it?
No, not even close. It's not even that humid out here, but it's good enough. Especially like indoors, like a lot of buildings in Vancouver, they don't have the AC units. They have fans, so that take me back to when I was a kid growing up in summer days.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the humidity is something we were definitely missing out on compared to where you grew up, of course. Speaking of hot, what about this offense, Dominique? A big night for you. We talked about it off the top. 143 yards, the 2 touchdowns. How special of a feeling is it overall right now for you and the entire squad?
Oh man, it feels amazing, man. Just because we know what we're capable of. We kind of seen it last year, but for some reason we wasn't able to put the piece together. But just being with the same guys from last year and adding. We really ain't adding no new pieces. We just Nate was our starting quarterback, and everybody got on board with it, and it feels good to be coming out a hot start, man. We set the tempo for what we want to do in this league, and I already know how each and everybody on the offense feels. Like this is our peak. This is our ceiling. Like we have so much to improve on, and we can do a lot better.
Yeah, that's a good mindset to have. Keep getting better. One more quickly here for me before I toss it over to Nik for a couple. But Gary Peters was talking about this post game, and it's a quote that stuck with me. He talked about how the defensive backs side of things, there's a lot more closeness in that group now. A lot of those guys have been playing together for more than a year, and he talked about how Luchez in training camp, they had a bunch of sessions watching film, eating pizza till 10, 11 nights, something they couldn't really do last year. Is that the same for you guys and the receivers? Do you find there's a special bond maybe brewing that maybe wasn't quite there for whatever reason?
Oh yeah, man. You could definitely feel like the closeness this year with like each group of guys and with each position group, especially because I guess you got everything's kind of back to normal with not having to deal with COVID, and you can go out with
Yeah.
your brother. So I can definitely commend him on that. But I just feel this year, guys, especially in our receiver group, we're just closer, and we play harder for one another because you don't want to let your brother down. So man, it feels good, man, because it's really a true brotherhood in that receiving room.
And Dominique, you mentioned that last year you could maybe do some things like even going out to eat at a restaurant because of the COVID restrictions last year. And I know, I believe I wouldn't be, I'd be saying this correct, but you didn't have the year that you would have wanted to last year personally. And I think even wider, there were guys like Darrell Walker, Shaq Evans, Brandon Banks, even who was an MOP in 2019, like these established receivers like yourself and these others that I just named. But do you think that the way that last year went with 2021 having all the restrictions, do you think that maybe yourself and these other guys, like, is there a chip on your shoulder that you can still prove that you have this top tier element in your game left, or do you think that you're feeling better that now that the restrictions are gone, or just what's your mindset on all of that?
Man, each and every year I go out there, I want to show that I'm a weapon, I'm a threat. Each and every game I get out there, and for me personally, it was just it was a matter of being in a different position. Because we all know last year, it was my first year with the Lions, and I was in a different position to help our team win, and just to contribute. But this year, I'm putting more, I would say, a more dynamic position to be able to make plays for the team. So I always felt like my ability never left me, just what I was asked to do. So I feel like this year they've asked me to do a different role, and I'm embracing that fully, and that's to be able to make plays for the team.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that it really impressed me about your performance on Saturday was that every single target that came your way resulted in a reception. Have you had a game like that
Hmm.
at the pro level, or is that something that maybe back in college was the last time you did?
No, I've had a few games where I went 100% on all my targets, but I mean, it's just the testament to the things I do in the offseason to focus on catching the ball and man, just I don't like you say in the receiver room, you don't want to let your brother down. And I don't want to let my brothers down when I'm out on the field. Like if I can make every play that comes my way, I'm gonna make every play that comes my way. And especially we got Nathan at quarterback, man, and just his work and like how he motivates the guys, man. It makes you want to catch every ball that comes your way.
Hmm. And then you just spoke about the brotherhood that you guys got going on, and we saw one of those brothers go down in Brian Burnham last week. But so how did the group respond after Brian went down? And I guess you guys proved on the field that you can continue to still ball out. But what was that like in the dressing room after you knew that the game was going to be played without Brian?
Oh man, I think every guy got emotional because we know what type of leader he is and the passion he has every time he steps on the field. Like he was talking about this earlier. Like he doesn't take a game for granted, and we know how bad he wants to be out there. So it hurts us, but we all know how competitive and how bad Brian want to win. So we know at the end of the day he wants us to compete and ball out like he was out there. So it's going to be tough not having him out there for a few weeks, but I can guarantee you nothing going to fall off with our receiver room. Nothing's going to change with our offense. We're still going to attack people in the defense, and we're gonna make it shake.
Yeah, Josh Pearson expected to be next up in line, and he's another 6'4" receiver. So the receiving room's it's getting a little taller, right?
Yeah, it's definitely getting a little taller, but man, Josh, good receiver, good ball player, man. He got good grassroots. Coming. I talked to Josh before the season. Like one of my old buddies I played in college with at Murray State knew Josh, and he connected us. And I was talking to him before he came up to training camp, and I mean it's just good to see how far along he's come. And man, I'm excited to go watch him Thursday because I know he's definitely gonna ball out. He's definitely gonna raise the standard for us, man. Because young guys, he's motivated and hungry, and when we see a young guy motivated and hungry, it just makes us a little bit more hungry.
Hmm. Did you see that? I'll go back to training camp in Kamloops, but I thought just by being there every day, I thought you really impressed me every day by it was a spectacular catches that seemed like they were just routine for you. But Josh was another guy I thought that stood out too. So you just spoke about how they motivate you to be better. Did you feel like that was one maybe your better training camps you've had as a pro?
Yeah, of course. Because like you said, last year wasn't the season I wanted to happen. Had an injury and everything. So I was definitely super motivated coming into this year, coming to be the best version of me that I could be. And then, having young guys that's going to push you in camp, it's going to make you even better. So, as they say, competition only makes you better. And, Josh made me better this training camp. And, look at the fruits of his labor. He's been super spectacular. And, I don't expect nothing less when we get in the game.
Yeah, very interested to see him show it in game action because it's always exciting to see these new players, these younger players come in camp, see where they fit in on a depth chart at the end of the day. Mentioned it going back to Ottawa. This has sort of become your second home, right? I know we were having some fun with you in Kamloops, you and Hatch in the dorm room doing the roommate con, and you said you traded in the beach for shoveling snow. Yes, your lovely fiance, of course, living in Ottawa. How much more special is this for you to go back and face your old team again and to be in a place where you now call home in the off season, Dom?
Oh man, it's super special because when I go back to Ottawa, I have my fiance and her family, so it's like you said, it's second home to me. So going back to Ottawa, it's gonna feel like home. But also, in another thought process, I know last year it was a place where unfortunately I got injured.
Right.
So this year I really have a real big motivation this year for this game to come out super focused and make sure I can contribute tremendously to the team.
What is the overall vibe? I mean, we talked a bit about how the injuries have taken a toll, but guys seem positive the way I look at it. I mean, having the short week helps in that regard too, right?
Yeah. it helps a lot. And injuries happen in football, but at the end of the day, like you said, we gonna play for our brothers, and they, like I say, they just recharging back up to be super stronger than they ever been. So we're gonna hold it down for them while they might get a little nicked up or bruised. So I mean, it's a short week, but I mean, we're super focused, we're super ready. We're taking care of our body, so we definitely gonna be ready for Thursday.
Now, before Nik jumps in to talk a bit about your video talents, um, we wanted to we talked about how this team was a more tight knit, closer group. One of the reasons is I think you've all bought into Nathan Rourke. What can you say about him that hasn't been said already? And just how big is the ceiling for this kid?
Oh, his ceiling is super tremendous, and I don't even think he got to his surface yet, which is the scary part about him. I mean, this kid is a hard worker. He comes in each and every day, ready to work, ready to learn. He trusts each and every one of his receivers. And I think as a receiver, when you have a young quarterback that trusts each and every one of you out there, I mean, that just gives the whole receiver room confidence that he's going to let us make plays for him. So, man, I think Nathan's future is super bright, and like I said, we only seen the sample size on him, and he has so much like greatness left in him, and I'm super excited that I'm with him on this journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as Matt mentioned, you're doing vlogging this season. That's something you've wanted to do in years past, right? Now you're finally picking it up.
Yeah, man, I just felt like the time was right, man. I just felt like the time of my life, this was right. The story is unfolding. I just feel like this year is going to be a historic year, and I just wanted to document each and every week of the season, and just to show the fans and show anyone that wants to know how the CFL operates just how special it is. And for me to be able to show how special the CFL is, while also showing my journey on the BC Lions and my different teammates and different personalities, and just how amazing this league can be and how great guys are, man. I feel it's something that's going to be big that people in a few years will understand later.
Mm-hmm. And then last, you had your was it best friend come down for the season opener game against Edmonton and in the smart car?
Yeah, yeah. So that was my best friend, TJ. I've been knowing him ever since my freshman year in college, and we've just been best friends ever since. And it was his first game actually coming to see me play, so that was super fun. And riding in a smart car, it was a journey, man. I felt like I was riding in a go-kart, man. But man, it was super fun that weekend, man. I was happy, man.
Is there any what kind of ideas do you got down the road, or do you not want to share those just yet?
Uh I don't think I have too many big ideas right now.
Just how it comes together.
Yeah, just how it comes together naturally. And like I said, I'm doing the vlogs, but I feel maybe a documentary might come, after this season or seasons prior, or like maybe 5-6 years down the line. I feel um like I say, I feel like things are just special in a certain type of way that I gotta record it and show it.
Mm-hmm. And what piqued your interest about creating content from your personal brand?
Uh, just I see the opportunity it has. Like, I'm a big YouTube guy, so I watch YouTube. I probably watch YouTube more than TV and anything else, and I could just see like I could see the with the CFL how in many ways the YouTube brand can help the CFL, can help people's brands. And I think it gives a different perspective for the fans of wanting to see what the guys do in their off time or what they do in their off season. So it gives a fan a different perspective, and it tells a story of a player. Like if a fan can see me, you know, go around town enjoying different activities and meeting different people in the city, I mean, it's going to give like a story and a background and like different perspective of me rather than just a football player they see for a few hours.
Mm-hmm. And then I imagine, are you bringing that on the road with you, the camera?
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm gonna have my
Yeah.
fiance. My fiance gonna be recording this one. She's gonna be recording herself and her friends and family, and it's definitely going to be a good one.
If you need a backup shooter, you always call on us too. So get our producing credit going.
Hey, come on, Rhymes prime time. If you can definitely put your hands in it because it's definitely prime time this year.
Get some stuff on the plane. Get guys doing their various plane activities, sleeping, watching movies, catch a guy snoring. That's always good content, Dom.
Oh, see, look, you give me idea. I ain't even think of that.
Here we go. That's what we're here for.
I was just thinking about the basic stuff. Now you got me thinking about other things I could do.
Oh, by the time this season is over, Dominique, it'll pretty much be Hard Knocks, right?
Yeah, basically. you gonna see every player on the team. Like I say, I'm gonna do different activities with every player on the team. So you're gonna see how I interact with each and every individual on the team. So you're gonna definitely see I'm definitely a fan favorite amongst my teammates.
Yeah, you guys got a pretty funny locker room, I must admit. In your mind, who are the guys that crack you up on a day-to-day basis?
Oh man, well, of course you got to say Tim Bonner.
Yeah,
that's like the number one choice. But then I don't know. You got James on the O line, man. He's pretty funny, man. Like he's if you've been around James, you'll be laughing all day. Oh man, it's so many funny guys, man. I can't tell you, but yeah, this is definitely a great locker room, man. You can definitely feel it. Like each and every individual on this team like wants to play their part in making sure the BC Lions of this season is successful. And that's what you truly can like applaud each and everybody. Like, sometimes you got teams where certain individuals want to have personal accolades rather than team accolades. So man, it's definitely team first over here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go ahead.
I was gonna ask about Jason Tucker too. You also have quite a CFL legend coaching you up at the wide receivers position. What's it like having Coach Tucker in the room coaching you guys up this season?
Oh man, he's been a tremendous help, man. He makes the game easy for the guys, man. As being like a former, player and like the type of play style he had and the level of talent he had when he played, like, I mean, that makes it easier for us. So he knows what we're saying, he knows what we're thinking. So he can just help us critique us on the little things that we do need to work on. And man, you can just see it on game days, man. Like the work and the things he's telling us is working out on the field.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing too, I'll bring it back to Kamloops for a bit, but one thing I noticed about the coaching staff, and not just Tucker, but the other coaches like RP, John Bowman, they're more on the younger side too. And I find they're doing a lot of things with you together. And I think of Jason Tucker playing basketball with you guys. Like that's something that you guys can relate on too, right? Like you can actually do whatever it may be, whether it's basketball, whether it's whatever, just hanging out. You can do that with your coaches too, right?
Yeah, man, you could just hang out with him, man. Even for Coach Tuck's birthday, we had got some the day after we got some dinner and stuff like that. Just it shows like a family bond with like amongst the team, which is tremendous because with a closer bond, makes you fight that much harder for your brother that's you're playing with. So man, I love it, man. It's like I said, it don't feel like no team, it feel like a family when you playing.
Before we let you go, Dominique, the basis of your celebration, was that a Wu-Tang Clan thing? What was that?
It's a little Miami dance called Wu-Tang. Just bringing my Miami style when I, just having fun in the end zone, man. Cause that's the thing, man. We want to score points and we want to have fun while we're doing it, man. So if we can do that, I'm gonna definitely bring out some more dances on the season. So, you just got to stay tuned. You never know what's coming next.
There it is. Yeah. I remember last year we talked in Toronto. It was Halloween. You did the zombie thing after scoring. So it's good. That's it's good that you're proud of your Miami heritage too, no doubt. So we look forward to seeing what's in store this week.
Yeah. Just stay tuned. Got something real special.
I love it. A T. That's what we call a tease in the business, right?
Yeah. Big tease. I'm going to give you a big tease.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Hey, listen, we've been wanting to get you on for a while, and we're glad it worked out after such a big game. And we look forward to seeing what's in store in Ottawa. Dominique, thanks for doing this. Always appreciate you making yourself accessible.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, Matt and Nik.
Awesome. Catch you later.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Dom, eh?
All right, thank you.
Dominique Rhymes, a massive performance and a very interesting guy away from football as well. Become one of our favorite guys to talk to.
Yeah, really from day one, he was someone that stuck out. He's just a friendly guy. Very, like I said earlier, very positive vibes, and he's all about the content too. So that makes my life easier, and I'm always willing to help him out too. So
yeah, always good, and I look forward to helping him with the GoPro one. I'll get him on the side. I'll use it on the sidelines. We'll get some Dominique Rhymes.
His friend with the smart car in his last vlog that cracked me up.
That was good times.
Yeah,
we encourage people to check that out for sure. As mentioned, Lions and Red Blacks, we're out of here. We'll get on a plane on Wednesday, and then Thursday night football, 4:30 Pacific. Can listen to that one on AM 730, the Lions Audio Network. We'll be covering it all content-wise as well, bclions.com, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Maybe do some Baker Instagram lives from the sidelines, see how ambitious we are, see how the game's going. But
what the people want.
Lions, though, 2-0, third in the West, only by virtue of having a game in hand on two other undefeated teams. We talked about the power rankings off the top. Winnipeg, Calgary, 3-0. Calgary 3-0. That ticks me off still. No business winning that game in Hamilton, but I'll save my Hamilton Tiger Cats rant maybe for later. But recapping the other week 3 games, I should say, probably the surprise of the week. Thursday, out and about, running some errands, turned the game on. Oh, geez, Montreal's up big here. Finally, an Eastern team beats a Western team. So Montreal, that's a much-needed win for them. They're 1-2. Saskatchewan dropping to 2-1. You know how it goes, right? All of a sudden, people are wondering, what's wrong with the Riders? They're going to have to watch someone else play the Grey Cup in their stadium. It's 1 week, folks. Relax. But I think it's clear Saskatchewan misses Dan Clark, Nick.
Yeah, that was a big takeaway from that game for sure. I think that game's more of an anomaly for the Riders in terms of that. Really, from the get-go, it seemed like they just didn't have it for whatever reason.
Just say outlier from now on.
An outlier. Yeah, okay, I'll use that from now on. Yeah, so that was an outlier for Saskatchewan, in my opinion. I'm of belief that they have a really talented roster, and I think Cody Fajardo's I think he's a franchise guy at this point. I'm willing to go out and say that. But they also lost Shaq Evans pretty early on, so I think the Alouettes are keying in on Duke Williams as really Saskatchewan's main and best option in that game, and that showed too. But really, it all phases. And yeah, like you said, for Dan Clark, him not being there definitely showed up for the Riders.
Cody, 8 sacks allowed.
Yeah, Cody was running around for his life pretty much from the get-go too.
And hey, let Montreal have the quarterback controversy, so we'll see what happens now. You have to stick with Trevor Harris, right?
Yeah, kudos to the Owls.
And a rematch between those two teams this week, that should be interesting at Mosaic Stadium. The Grey Cup rematch, Winnipeg-Hamilton, and I think, was that a little subtle troll job by the Blue Bombers, going with white uniforms at home?
100%. Yeah.
Was it? But good for them. And hey, kind of typical of the first two Bomber games where they didn't dominate, they didn't ground and pound for 4 straight quarters, but all of a sudden, a big pick 6 by Willie Jefferson. Where have you seen that before? And that was kind of the turning point in that game as the Bombers get to 3-0. The Hamilton Tiger Cats, again, I'm going to say it, my early season surprise, in a disappointing way. The East Division is kind of a dog's breakfast, so that's kind of the good news for the Tiger Cats, but Winnipeg, they're not doing it pretty, but they're doing what championship teams do. They're just finding ways to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the Bombers on Friday night. I thought that we saw a couple of weaknesses, and maybe in the kicking game, maybe in the secondary, and those seem to be non-existent on Friday, which is a scary sign to see with Winnipeg because Zach Collaros was still like we said before, getting it done when it matters. They had Nick Dembski go down, and Nick Dembski was having a big game before he did go down, so we'll have to monitor that. Winnipeg's ground game, again, though, not much going on there.
Makes you wonder, makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm. So I definitely think, especially if Nick Dembski is missing time too, that could be a problem for them on offense in terms of sustaining success overall and getting good drives down, because they had one offensive touchdown too, right, on Friday, but overall, I think they're still a scary opponent, and they'll be a good test on July 9.
Some doubts maybe creep in about their kicking game too here, but they're 3-0.
Yeah. Leggio's been good.
Yeah, he's become a bit more reliable. But
in the punting game, too, he's been very strong.
Yeah, field position, absolutely. So, so the Winnipeg 3-0 and the Battle of Alberta, the early Battle of Alberta, Stampeders and Elks on Saturday, and trying to monitor that one as we're getting set up at BC Place. First part of the doubleheader. Interesting here. The Elks, they came to play, but turned into the Bo Levi, Mitchell, Malik, Henry show.
Yep.
And Calgary, like they've been known to do, find a way to get it done in the fourth quarter. The Stamps 3-0, the Elks 0-3. So that creates the logjam with these four teams minus Edmonton in the West Division.
Mm-hmm. That had to be Bo Levi's best performance of the season by a long shot, too.
When there were questions about his health, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Frankly, and the comeback in Hamilton, I thought that was more of a team effort and just a lot of things going their way. Like we saw the Dane Evans strip, like that's just like you said, that's something you've never seen in your life watching CFL football. But
right.
On Saturday, I watched that game back yesterday, and I thought Bo Levi was pretty much the main reason why the Stampeders won that football game, which is a good sign for Calgary too, right? He looked really good. He was hitting him and Malik Henry had a really good connection multiple times on multiple deep balls. So. And then they also got Reggie Bagleton and Kamar Jordan in that offense, right? So they are looking quite dangerous on offense. And Cameron Judge is another guy that's making a ton of plays on defense. Yeah. Had a pick, cutting a bunch of other plays.
So Calgary on the bye week. I mentioned Lions and Red Blacks Thursday. Friday night is the Elks in Hamilton, a battle of the 0-3s. Yeah. Looks like Hamilton going to be wearing those alternate jerseys, those gray hammer jerseys. I don't know about those. We'll have to see those. I don't like to judge till I see in action. But someone, well, barring a tie, of course, will come away with a victory. We hope it's Hamilton. Keep the Elks losing games. So Edmonton-Hamilton goes Friday. We mentioned Saturday will be the Montreal-Saskatchewan rematch. I'd be inclined to lean towards Saskatchewan in that one, but hey, stranger things certainly can happen. And then a bit of a quirk in the schedule here. Monday, Winnipeg in Toronto. We'll see what the heck the Argos do. They have some long time to prepare and kind of stew over what happened here on Saturday. But Winnipeg, you mentioned July 9th. They're kind of in the same situation we are this week.
Yeah.
They play the Monday game in Toronto, have to go home with only a few days to prepare, and then we'll come out here for what is shaping up to be a massive Western showdown. Will it be a first-place battle? That remains to be seen. See how the chips fall this week with all the games. But Winnipeg-Toronto on Monday at BMO Field. That's going to be intriguing for me to see how the Argos show.
Big time. And I think it matters a lot for our club, too, because Winnipeg is, if you look at the CFL power rankings, Winnipeg's number one. They're the back-to-back champions. And there's always going to be excuses with an unproven team that the BC Lions are seen as right now. And the latest excuse was, you've only beaten Edmonton and Toronto. But
right.
I don't buy that for a second. I think Edmonton's shown they're not as bad as they looked in week one.
When did Edmonton and Toronto lose pro status? Can someone tell me? Is there a relegation round that we don't know about?
The Toronto one I don't buy at all, especially on defense too. We saw the Magic Garrett Davis, Winton McManus, Deshaun Amos.
These are good. These are good players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my point being is that the precedent for Toronto is a 41-point victory over them. So if the number 2 seed in the CFL can do that, and the BC Lions, then let's see what the number 1 seed can do. So I'm really interested to see how Winnipeg matches up against Toronto, and if they can, they can win the game, but if they don't win it in dominating fashion, I think that it shows better for our team, right?
Yeah, exactly. The 2 seed in the rankings. I love that.
That's how we're going. I love that.
Now, yeah. Hey, it's gonna really jacked up to be going to Ottawa here, but playing the first game of the week kind of makes it feel different because we won't have a game to watch the night before.
Yeah.
Usually we get into the city and go out have a bite and maybe a Diet Pepsi or two and watch whatever game is on, but won't have the luxury of watching that. Might have to just watch the Blue Jays or something. But very, very excited to be going to Ottawa. We'll be back in here next week to recap what hopefully will be a win over Ottawa and start teeing up this huge game against the Blue Bombers. First and Now, broadcasting inside the Go-Goat Sports Studios at the Wall Center. The podcast is on Twitter at First and Now. I'm at BakesTakes84. He is at Nik_Kowalski, right?
Yeah, correct. NIK for Nick.
NIK. Simple spelling for a simple guy. Gotta love it. All right, reminder, 4:30 kickoff on Thursday. This has been First and Now, the official BC Lions podcast.